The following is a presentation of DangerZone Productions.
In 1990, Hollywood brought us the movie Tremors. At first, we really weren't sure what to make of it. Was it supposed to be scary? Was it supposed to be funny? Was it supposed to be gory? Those questions alone led us to watching the thing in the first place. Scary? It was not. Funny? A bit. Gory? At times. But at the very least, we found it entertaining as hell. So much so that in 1996, when the sequel came out, we were intrigued to see if this one was going to be as entertaining or, dare I say, more entertaining than the last. What we got was a new spin on the monsters we had already come to enjoy, making them even more of a threat menacingly, if not embarrassingly retarded to look at. But we let that slide. The movie kicked and we loved it. And then in 2001, with our expectations high, we were given the straight-to-DVD release of Tremors 3 Back to Perfection, to which most audiences responded with this.
You!
You've just entered the Danger Zone. I'm Danny South. As I've mentioned before in the past, the original Tremors movie is one of my favorite movies ever. And to be honest, the second one holds a very special place for me too. It's special in its own way, and because of that, it keeps me coming back for more. And then there's the third one. Oh my dick muffins, the third one. This is the movie where I honestly think the writing staff just gave up and felt that they needed to push out another sequel, mostly out of obligation. Don't get me wrong, the new evolution for the graboids is a good idea. I honestly thought it added more of a threat to the monsters than they already were. But it's just butchered to hell with the stupid way it's done and the even dumber name they're given. And the CG for the monsters throughout half of the movie looks so cartoony, I half expected Elmer Fudd to join the hunt.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting graboids. The movie opens with everyone's favorite gun-toting psychopath, Burt Gummer, having been hired by the South American government to eliminate a herd of shriekers. So, what's he gonna use? Like a bunch of landmines, a rocket launcher, or a aircraft turret?
Any questions?
Are you available for birthday parties?
After that little bit of awesomeness, the movie brings us back to a familiar sight, Perfection Valley, Nevada, which since the original graboid attack has now become a big tourist attraction.
Because what says family fun more than a sight of nearly half a dozen grisly deaths? Where are these people going next week? The Manson family ranch?
One thing I do have to say about this movie is a lot of the characters from the first movie do make comebacks, and those that aren't actually in it do at the very least get mentioned. There's this picture of Walter Chang, the guy who actually named the graboids, and his niece even mentions Grady and Earl. And Mindy is in this movie as well, all grown up. And out.
The things I would eat out of her.
Then we're introduced to this guy, Desert Jack Sawyer. Remember my Tremors 2 review, how I said Grady kinda got on my nips with his upbeat attitude? Well, I take it all back, because this jackhat is way, way worse.
I think if I had an inner voice, it'd be telling me to tell you to get lost.
That goes for all of us. But it doesn't take long before the graboids make their return to Perfection Valley by attacking Jack's rapey-looking friend. Seriously, this guy has serial killer written all over him. Jack and Mindy manage to make it back to town as Bert rolls up, ready to whoop some.
So, what do? We hunt them down. We wipe them out.
The next day, the gang of monster hunters, all 3 of them, might I add, roll out to deal with the graboid threat. That is until they're stopped by these douche crackers. Yep. Mindy's mom called the government for help, and they sent only 3 guys, one of which being John Pappas, who actually was one of the road workers picked off at the beginning of the first movie. The government team informs them that they are not allowed to hunt any graboids because, get this, they're on the endangered species list. You know, as weird as that sounds, given how much of a G-tard Obama is, I can buy it. Jack manages to convince the government agents to allow Bert to hunt the damn things, but only if he's able to catch a live one.
Is your head up your for the warmth? Mr. Gummer.
Naturally, Bert trusts these guys about as much as I trust that McDonald's uses natural hamburger meat. But with a little coat sting from Jack, he does eventually agree to their terms. Out in the desert, Jack and Bert try to brainstorm on ways of how they're going to go about catching a live graboid. That's when yet another familiar face makes the scene.
Amount to anything. Look, Bert, we're making...
Melvin.
That's right, it's Melvin, once again played by Robert Jane. And guess what? He's still a little cockhole.
He just got Bert eaten alive by a ravenous monster. That's classic Melvin. What an hole.
But as it turns out, and don't ask me how, Bert is still alive inside the graboid, which means it's up to Jack to get him out. Oh boy.
I prefer we keep this to ourselves.
Don't worry, Bert. We ain't saying So after that, instead of going to find Melvin and rightly shoving a boot up his the team assembles to try their hunt again.
I'm entirely effective. I'm afraid.
What's the big deal? He just spilled a little lasagna on his back. So with the government team dead, it's now open season on these suckers. The only problem is, according to the now dead scientist, the graboids have now evolved into shriekers. Well, all but one of them. So now the group is stranded on the rocks by this albino graboid, with several shriekers only a few yards away in a boxed canyon.
Are you remotely worried that the shriekers might get out and go eat Miguel's cattle and, I don't know, the rest of Nevada?
Absolutely. But I do not dwell on that over which I have no control.
That's great. I have to do all the dwelling.
You choose to. What I found. Most people prefer your dramatic cumulonimbus clouds. But I've always had a weakness for a cirrus. Yeah.
Oh, I never thought I'd say this, but bring back Grady.
And much like the first movie, they end up being stuck on the rocks all night long. By morning, Bert can take it no longer. He feels something must be done before those shriekers decide to come up from the canyon for breakfast. Why they didn't wander up there any time during the night is beyond me. Thanks to an assist from Mindy on the radio, they managed to give El Blanco the slip. However, when they reach the canyon, either things have taken an unexpected twist, or they just missed a taping of Shriekers Gone Wild. They go looking for Bert's truck, and that's when we finally get a look at the new form of the graboid. It looks like some kind of mutant chicken.
What's it doing now?
Oh, what the hell? Okay, they can fly. I get that. But was it really necessary to have them shoot fire out of their asses? God, that sounds like something Beavis and Butthead would come up with, for God's sakes. And then the monster, he shoots fire out of his butt crack. Yeah, fire. Fire's cool. Fire's cool.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put this sound effect to every time they take off. I mean, we're all thinking it anyway. They manage to shoot the thing down, but not before it kills off Miguel. That's something else I need to address about this movie. Whereas the 2 movies before it had gory effects and death scenes, this movie doesn't have any of it. No gore of any kind. Hell, we don't even get to see half the people die in this movie. So now, the 3 heroes, out of ammo and without transportation, make their way to Bert's place using a mattress of all things for cover. Jody, much like her late uncle, also takes it upon herself to name the new creatures. And I swear to God, you guys are really not ready for this.
Stoppers. Or butt launchers. That's better, huh? Oh, blasters. How's that?
Really? Blasters? Sounds like the title to a gay porno. Why stop there? I mean, surely you can come up with something even worse than that. Like, how about fart knockers? Or rockets? Or how about rectal raptors? Come on, shoot for the cheap seats.
They make it back to Bert's place, but it doesn't take long before one of the blasters comes crashing in. Man, these things are retarded. They escape through Bert's safe room, but the monsters are breaking through to Bert's safety food. So, Bert is left with only one option. Blowing them the up.
Food! It ain't half the food in the store. They eat it up, they go into a complete food coma.
No. They multiply.
No, Bert, they don't. Just feed it. Give it all your MREs. Bert, do you copy? Bert?
Well, that sucks.
Cry, baby.
They make it to the junkyard by way of boat, no less. But of course, another blaster is quick to pick up their trail. Hey, look, it's the same place this movie was written. Does anybody else smell Wendy's chili? Realizing they can't run, they decide to fight. But how?
A potato gun.
Of course!
They split up to find the pieces they need to build their weapon, and Jody even manages to kill one.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't the other blasters sense the heat from the explosion and come running in to gobble her up? No? Okay, just checking.
Once they have all they need, they regroup and begin assembling their potato gun.
Now you gotta seal up one end. Also need to make a touch hole to light it.
I get the concept. Armed
dangerous.
The first one goes down fairly easily, and the second one gets a flaming arrow right up its explosive ass. But the third one, it turns out, has been watching The Matrix and picked up a few tricks.
Whoa.
But it is no match for the ingenuity of Burt Gummer. With the last blaster destroyed, it looks like everything is all good in the hood.
How the hell does he always know where I am?
Watch. The ultrasonic signal.
Ah, yes, the watch, of course. Except for the fact that at the beginning of the movie, Burt made it abundantly clear that the watch he has receives ultrasonic frequencies, not give them off, which means the entire premise behind this plot device is total bull.
Oh, come on! You're just looking for ways to prolong this now.
Wow, that was unexpected. You mean to tell me these things eat their own kind? Won't that cause, like, I don't know, mad graboid disease or some shit?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. The monsters are defeated, Jack and Jody get together, and Mindy and her mom even manage to sell off the blaster that they caught.
Siegfried, Roy, he's all yours.
Really? You're gonna sell it to... They can't even control the tigers in their show.
And lastly, Burt gets to stick it to Melvin by telling him that the valley is now a private graboid reserve, which means he's now out of a job.
So that was Tremors 3. I gotta say, guys, out of all the movies in the franchise, this one is by far the weakest. Jody and Jack get on my nerves, but that's mainly because of how they carry themselves. Thankfully, most of their scenes, Michael Gross is there to kind of lift it back up. And of course, I just cannot get over the stupid as hell name they gave these monsters. And of course, having them fart fire out of their ass. It's so childish that it just gets on your nerves so easily and just takes away from the overall threat of the monsters. The first two movies at least gave the monsters decent names and had it dignified, but this one, it just seems like it's all over the concept of the entire movie. Bottom line is, if you've seen the first two movies, you might as well give this one a watch, if just so you can see what happens next in the story. Just don't expect yourself to be blown away by any kind of mind-blowing entertainment. If so, you're better off sticking to the first two. Thanks for watching. I'm Danny South, and if you don't know, now you know.